Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are jumping into the really high-stakes world of heavy industry.
Yeah, we're focusing on the massive pieces of rotating equipment that, keep plants running.
Things like giant industrial fans, fan assemblies, cooling towers. This stuff has to work. It's not just about keeping things cool. It's about uptime. It's about efficiency. And really, it's about avoiding catastrophic failure.
That's the mission today. Our source material is all centered on a company called Vibe.FX. They're an integrated provider of rotating equipment expertise, and we're looking at their whole methodology for fan reliability. Getting those fundamentals right is important because it sets the stage. Vibe.FX, they operate as reliability specialists, and their entire fan division is built on one single principle.
Which is?
The equipment has to perform exactly as it was designed to, every hour, every day, no exceptions.
For our audience, plant managers, reliability engineers, that's everything. Uptime is non-negotiable.
Exactly.
But let's give the listeners some more context. Why is this so critical? I mean, we're not talking about a simple air conditioner here. What kind of systems depend on these fans?
We're talking about massive process cooling systems, mostly air-cooled heat exchangers or ACHD systems.
Okay.
You find these everywhere in oil and gas, mining, power generation. They manage just incredible amounts of heat. And if even one large fan assembly in one of those units fails, or even just underperforms a little bit,
The whole process slows down.
or stops completely. The consequences are immediate. You're looking at huge production losses, which is lost revenue,
Yeah.
and you're wasting immense amounts of energy trying to compensate.
And the sources really highlight that Vibe.FX is, I think the quote was, the first Canadian-based turnkey company to really focus on optimizing these ACHE components.
That's right. And optimization is the key word. They aren't just fixing what's broken. They're trying to maximize cooling efficiency. In a big refinery, even a small percentage increase in your heat exchange rate can mean millions of dollars.
The background material also mentions something called temporal insights. What does that mean in a practical sense?
It's all about experience. It means they're incorporating something like 30 years of historical data failure data, operational data into every single solution.
So they're not just fixing today's problem.
No, not at all. They're applying lessons learned over decades. They know how stress points develop, how materials degrade in certain environments, which fixes actually last. It's that deep engineering knowledge that informs everything they do.
Okay, so let's unpack that. They call themselves a turnkey solution. Let's break down what that actually means, their core capabilities.
Right. So the foundational service, is industrial fan installations and rebuilds.
This is the heavy mechanical work.
Exactly. High-level millwright work. It's about ensuring the fan assembly, the gearbox, the motor, everything is structurally sound and can handle the immense forces involved. It's all about craftsmanship.
And that craftsmanship, that integrity, is immediately tested by vibration, right? Which brings us to the precision services.
Yeah.
This is where the name Vibe.FX really comes into play.
It really does. Their second capability is precision dynamic balancing. And this is way more than just a simple balance check.
What's the difference?
We're talking about controlling rotational mass. Even a tiny microscopic variation in the mass of a fan blade, when it's spinning at high speeds, creates enormous centrifugal force.
And that force becomes vibration.
Destructive, oscillating vibration. So they use advanced equipment to get a near-perfect balance, which stops the #1 cause of bearing failure and cuts down on wasted energy.
And that ties right into number 3, which is laser alignment. This feels like a standard maintenance practice, so what's their edge here?
It is standard, but they elevate the guarantee. They're promising repeatable alignment of couplings and motors down to the micron level.
Okay, so what does that mean for a plant operator?
It means you eliminate all that unnecessary wear on seals and couplings, you decrease friction, you cut power loss, and you can add years to the life of really expensive components. It's a guaranteed cost reduction.
So that's the physical setup. Now let's get into the detective work, the diagnostics. How do they find the hidden problems?
This is where their technology really shines. Number 4 is advanced diagnostics. And they do this by pairing classic vibration analysis with something called motion amplification.
Motion amplification. I've seen videos of this. It's incredible.
It is. Traditional analysis gives you charts and graphs, complex data, but motion amplification turns that data into a video.
It makes the invisible visible.
Exactly. You can literally see the fan structure moving in slow motion. You can see the looseness, see the structural weakness in the supports, see exactly how a bearing fault is making the whole thing move.
For a reliability engineer, that must be a game changer. You're not arguing about data points anymore.
You're showing management a video. Here's the problem. Undeniable proof. It just fast-tracks the entire repair process.
Which leads right to their last capability.
Yeah.
Troubleshooting and failure investigation.
Right. This is about making sure the fix is permanent. Number 5 is their commitment to finding the root cause. So many places just treat the symptom, the vibrating fan,
A bad shot.
a patch job. Vibe.FX insists on finding out if the root cause was mechanical or structural, like a problem with the foundation, or even electrical. They eliminate that underlying problem so it cannot come back.
That's a comprehensive list. It definitely sounds turnkey. But let me ask a critical question here.
Go ahead.
If they're the ones doing the diagnosis, doing the repair, and selling the parts, how do they handle that potential conflict of interest? Diagnosing a problem that just so happens to require their specific components.
That's a fair question for any turnkey provider. And the sources point to 2 things. First, that motion amplification video, it's third-party validation. The evidence is right there on screen. It isn't just their opinion.
The camera doesn't lie.
The camera doesn't lie. And second, they're partnerships with major OEMs. They aren't locked into one brand. They can source the best part for the job, not just the one they have on the shelf. It shows a commitment to the outcome, not the sale.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay, let's pivot a little from performance to protection.
Yeah.
We need to talk about a really serious hazard. Reverse rotation.
Sometimes called windmill backwards.
Yes,
Yeah.
especially in those big FINs systems. What is that?
It's a huge vulnerability. So imagine you have a bank of fans. You shut one down for maintenance, but the fans right next to it are still running, pushing massive amounts of air. That air pressure gets forced backward through the idle fan, and it starts spinning its blades fast, but in the wrong direction.
That sounds incredibly damaging.
It is. The risks just cascade. You get severe mechanical stress. The shaft can literally twist. You get bearing damage because they aren't designed to run that way. You can even get what's called a backspin overspeed event, where things can just fly apart.
It must be a huge safety risk.
A massive safety risk. A technician goes to lock out the unit, thinks it's static, but it's actually storing all this rotational energy. It's a disaster waiting to happen during a restart.
So how do you stop that? This is where that DG2 device comes in, right?
This is the definitive answer. The DG2 anti-rotation device. It's a patented solution, and Vibe.FX is the exclusive Canadian dealer. Its job is simple, but it's robust. It automatically stops that reverse rotation the second the fan becomes idle.
And the really critical insight here is that it's a fully mechanical, a passive system.
Yes.
Why is that so much better than, say, an electrical brake or some kind of active sensor in these environments?
Because these industrial environments are harsh, they're remote, they're dusty, sometimes they're classified as explosive zones.
Right.
An electrical system needs wiring, a constant power supply, special enclosures. It's complex, it's expensive, and it's another thing that can fail in extreme heat or cold.
But the DG2?
The DG2 is self-actuating. It uses the physics of the rotation itself to engage. It needs no power, almost no maintenance. It's just inherently reliable in a way electronics can't be for this specific job. It's built for reality.
That passive reliability is a huge engineering advantage. And for the worker, knowing that fan is truly static, not just idle, must make the lockout process so much safer.
It's transformative for safety protocols. It eliminates that stored energy risk, and the device can be retrofitted pretty easily onto most existing fan configurations, so it's a viable upgrade for older systems too.
So we've covered the hardware and the services.
Mm-hmm.
But the sources also point to their strategic strength, their network.
Yeah, they're not going it alone. This is about combining experience with distribution power. Their key partnership is with Nick Ageas Consulting Services, but everyone in the industry just knows him as Nick the Fan Guy.
Nick the Fan Guy, I like it.
He brings decades of high-level fan design and engineering experience. He's seen everything.
And what does he add to the Vibe.FX offering specifically?
He provides really high-level process consulting, site surveys, specialized airflow testing. It means they're not just installing a fan, they're integrating decades of knowledge about how that fan is going to interact with the entire plant process. It cements their reputation.
And then on the supply side, they have other alliances.
Correct. Their OEM partnerships with big names like AFI, Cofimco, AXH Air Coolers, and Hudson Tuflight. That's crucial.
And why is that so important for the customer?
It means they have access to the best parts at competitive prices. For the client, it just guarantees that the turnkey solution is also the most cost-effective solution in the long run.
So if we were to summarize the whole value proposition here for the listener.
I'd say Vibe.FX brings the whole picture together. They use sophisticated diagnostics like motion amplification. They apply those deep temporal insights for a lasting fix. And then they protect that whole investment with a simple, reliable safety device like the DG2. It's just the definition of operational excellence.
And what this deep dive really shows is that getting to that next level of fan performance isn't about one thing. It's a whole stack of solutions.
A multi-layered approach. Okay.
It's the micro-precision of balancing and alignment, the visual proof from motion amplification, and then that macro-level safety of making sure reverse rotation just physically can't happen. It's a really compelling case for end-to-end management.
It is.
And that leaves me with a final provocative thought for you to take away. We just spent a lot of time on the DG2, a brilliant, fully mechanical device that needs zero power to fight back against an environmental forced backward airflow that can destroy idle equipment. So if a simple passive device can solve that problem, what other overlooked systems in your plant might be vulnerable to other environmental forces? Things like extreme temperature swings, high humidity, or even seismic vibrations. Could they be protected not by expensive active electronics, but by an equally simple, elegant, passive mechanical solution? Something to think about when you look at your own risk profile.